She's looking, or he or they are looking for someone to pay attention to them, to love them, to make them feel worthwhile and that they belong. That they don't have a place to go and ask for help. They don't have a place to go home to. Victim of trafficking, unless they're a minor. So let me give you a little bit of definition about sex trafficking in our community. So in the United States, if you're under the age of 18, you cannot sell sex. You can't vote, you can't buy a gun, and you cannot sell sex. So anyone under the age of 18 who's prostituting or being prostituted, regardless of if someone's pushing them to do it or conning them to do it, or they're running away and they're trying to make things work and earn a little bit of money to pay for the things they need, they're considered a sex trafficking victim. Over the age of 18, it is much more complicated. First of all, it's illegal to sell sex, so it's prostitution, and oftentimes our clients are arrested for prostitution without any consideration that their pimp might be parked outside the hotel room and they're compelling them or forcing them or coercing them to be in that hotel room, whether by threats or beating them or scaring them or really just telling them that they love them and that you're doing this for me and for our future and we're going to be together forever and you just have to do this for a little while so we can have a future. So sometimes it's confusing. Women who are men, transgender people who are arrested for prostitution, we don't always do a great job saying, are you a victim of trafficking? Do you have someone who's forcing you? And I don't know if they're going to tell us when we ask them anyway. They might not tell us.
No set thing that'll make a person become trafficked. Trafficking victims can be rich or poor. They can come from good families and bad families. So some of the things or some of the risk factors that we see for trafficking are things like kids that are running away. So they don't necessarily have those social supports. We see the internet, so being online without proper supervision. This is a huge risk factor.
Variables that make you more at risk are having a problematic relationship with your family, and that causes you to have unstable housing. So if you don't have a place to live, oftentimes there are problems with what you have to do to get a safe place to live. So if you run away, for example, you don't always go on your smartphone and be like, homeless shelter for teens, right? You don't. You kind of make it work. You go out and you try to figure it out, and sometimes they'll meet a pimp really quickly and he'll sell her out, and I call it being put out. He'll put her out and she'll be trafficked, but he'll give her a safe place to stay. He'll give her a little bit of that money to get her nails done, and he'll feed her McDonald's. And the last one is LGBTQ issues. So along with LGBTQ issues come with they're more likely to be kicked out of their home, they're more likely to have self-esteem issues, and there's some things that we really don't understand, but we know that being LGBTQ makes you at a higher risk of being sex trafficked.
So some of the things that we would encourage parents to be aware of is certainly to be involved and engaged in their kids' lives, so they know where their kids are at and that they're being supportive of their children, because kids without strong social structures, again, it's not necessarily you have a rough family life, you're automatically going to become trafficked, but kids without those strong social supports in their life, from their family, from their church, from their school, are at higher risk of being trafficked. So as far as preventing, we talk to families, we talk to schools, we talk to religious organizations about being there to support youth. Stay away from stereotyping. We say anybody could potentially be a trafficker. We see all different races. We see young traffickers, we see old traffickers, we see male traffickers, we see female traffickers. So one of the things we always say is try to stay away from the stereotypes. So what we're looking at is people that are exploiting another person or forcing them to perform commercial sex acts. So that could be in a strip club, that could be pornography, that could be forced prostitution. So what we're looking for is really the evidence of those things going on. So if we see somebody working in forced prostitution and there's that existence of a pimp or trafficker, that's kind of the way we're identifying predators. It's just through their actions and not necessarily through any kind of stereotypical definitions.
Are pretty obvious. They're conning and pushing and forcing the victim into selling sex. They might set the prices, they set the rules, how much they have to earn each day. They might hurt or abuse that person. But they're very charming, they're very conniving, they're very good at convincing a person it's something that they want to do, that they're doing it because they love them, not because they want to do it. Sex buyers are a little more complicated. It's a misdemeanor to buy sex from another person, which is quite remarkable that that's how low of a level of crime we consider it. It's not violent crime theoretically, but people who buy sex are called buyers or johns or customers. So people sort of say, like, it's not a good thing to do, but is it really that dangerous, or is it really that bad? So I do think we have sort of a continuum of who's really a perpetrator and who's a victim, and that line kind of moves around quite a bit.
Primary goals as it relates to prevention or primary prevention is just community outreach and raising awareness about the issue so that people have a broader understanding about what trafficking is and what it looks like, so that we're getting the entire community engaged.
Find is that it's girls, boys, transgender persons. There are a couple of things that we find that put a person at higher risk. So we work with people of all races, of all ages. I've worked with people in their 50s and 60s who are being trafficked. I've worked with people who are 12, 13.
From night comes this October morning's first light.
Indicators might look different depending on which field you're in. So if you're a medical professional and you're interacting with someone that, the indicators that they're being victimized might look a little different. Like a medical professional might be looking for signs of bruising or signs of abuse, sexual abuse or physical abuse. So the indicators look a little bit differently, but if you just keep in mind that we're looking for commercial sex elements, and then what some of those indicators might be as they relate to that. Those are some of the broader ones.
You'll never set sail, so get ready, it's time to admit you have lost a lover. Just one chapter over. Don't run for cover.